It is time for not only the last game here of PCS5 Europe, but also the last game of PCS5 in general. After this game, we will know every single team going to the PGC here for 2021. Let's get to it. It's game 12 of this weekend. It's Sims, it's Pansy, bringing you the big match feel.
It is the last chance to dance for most of these teams, and there is a whole lot on the line. Now, as said, my brain is too tiny to work out all of the factors that could change a couple of these bits and pieces, so I'm going to focus on the game in front of me and leave it to the boys with the brains after the game. But there's a couple of names that have been missing those chicken dinners. Na'Vi is one of them for sure. Heroic. Surely there has to be a game for them to actually convert this, Rich, because it's been eluding them the entire time. We're going back into this, and as said, yes, we've had a couple now convert into double chicken dinners that have been fighting incredibly hard. Question Mark is a name that I can't get over. They've arrived and really delivered here, but again, this could be anyone's game.
110%. When we're looking towards QA and FaZe at the moment, they're the top spot. They're the people to be beating. Everyone else, BBL, Galacticos, ENCE, VP. All these names on the board that have one win under their belts, they need to tie it up with 2. But they also need to be there with the frags. Wait a minute, VP. We're not even just over a minute into the game. Lou's already dead. We've still got a different fight in a different position altogether. What in the world is going on? Heroic have just sent it. It's not exactly a bad position whatsoever when you look at it. It's not quite center, but it's certainly not far off by any means. VP playing with 3, have to keep continuing up. It comes down to Batulins to try and hold the line on the top. Goes for the wiggle, gets the headshot. He's not knocked just yet, but Spyro comes in to finish the deal.
They are in a real fighting chance. BBL is still in, but a little on the outskirts now, Gatka Fields being where they're at, and it gets harder to revert or kind of like transfer away from their veneer. You're gonna probably have to bring themselves together. No chance for a 2-2 split in this. Radar has been taken, or the little hillside has been taken. Speaking of being taken, it's gonna be Perfectix taking SMB's life. Apocalypse trying to get a little too far ahead of himself. You can already see Batulin still having a little drive around, having a look to see what else is going on here potentially. Is actually Na'Vi are being crept up on. Look at Quizzy right next towards Fate.
Spotted instantly. Quizzy leans in for it, but oh my word, Fate's there to respond in kind. That is a sick shot. 25 HP and the overpeak comes through. That's exactly what he needed, but look at the damage that's been done to a doozy. A response is their example. Hands one back off, and Alia goes for Faultlessly, just in the distance, cresting the ridgeline. The panic stations kind of shows you this is what it means to these players to be able to keep him people on the toes. They're not looking for the fight here. They're looking for the res. But his teammate's fallen if he finds him just around the corner. This is going to spell disaster for QM. He's going to have to Faultlessly. Faultlessly steps up again. He is doing the dirty and holding back Na'Vi.
That is easier said than done sort of situation, and Alia has to bow down to this and accept that Question Mark are bringing the A game as best they can. They will be getting the res, I believe. They should be back up to 4. It's just their next step is not going to be an easy one, but at least we'll be into the circle better.
Meanwhile, SMB, Rip9, Huth, and Lazar trying to just weed out Uri in the building side. Dante caught in the open field. That's not good. QM going for a full-blown run up against it. Out of the vehicle, down we go, but vehicle will tag him up. Easy trade-off there for Mexi. In the distance, and Fate has arrived, but sadly, it is not looking too good for QM whatsoever. One player left standing. Tokyo Manji out in the field. There's open water at the moment. It's shooting day. Faultless is just like, no, this is it. Bow down. Number 1 spot goes out in 15th.
Okay, I guess the gateway is now open, but the jump up would be unreal. FaZe would have to get the win, basically, to do it, because the kills ain't going to be enough. So at this point, though, we look beyond that. There's plenty more on the line for some of these teams trying to fight for their way forward in other ways. And another team goes into the blender. Mexi is just farming right now. More bodies added to the pile. Ooh, overextending there, little Mexi. Careful now, head down. There it is. Try and work off the more attention being drawn elsewhere. Jeems sprays in wildly, does get what he wants. There's still one alive. There we go. Tokyo now gone as well, down in 14th. This is where everything has just busted open. Thunderlost actually got a little bit of a glimpse of this, and Fuzzface ain't far away now. So it's going to be Galacticos, Liquid, and FaZe all together. That's Lyron doing great work towards Mexi. Galacticos trying to work their way up here. Jeems in the vehicle, going to get out of dodge. Try and place it for another day. Not going to be allowed. Found by 8C. Put to bed. And now FaZe and Galacticos, you're going to battle it out here.
I feel like they've committed to this. There's nowhere else they can go, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Heroic? What in the world just happened? Is this a full-blown breach from Gear Up? They're pushing in and they're getting killed left, right, and center. Hall of Games also, their SMB is wandering directly this way. This is a bit of a mad scramble up to the radar dish. This is pure and utter carnage. Do not forget about that. Thank you, observers. Do not forget about this fight. This is a big one. Galacticos kind of committed to the cause on this third party, and with the circle shift, really there's no easy way out of it for either of these teams. A retreat, I mean, in my opinion, doesn't feel viable. You have to fight this one out. Aitzi will spot 2 on his left-hand side, goes for the first. Gets the damage done, has to hit the deck. Honor's there to hold him. Dead to rights. Gustav on with the second. A much deeper angle as well. Aitzi still keeps going, goes for a lean, but Honor's there to respond in kind. His teammates are falling all around him, and now they're trying to collapse the last stand. Thunderlost, how many can you take with you, though?
None. 0. FaZe will keep 4 alive. No one close enough to pressure them anymore. They get the entryway from the southern side, and now we look towards the north, unresolved, and a little bit of terrain in play, I'll say that much, but it ain't a great deal, and with Ents already taking a large portion of that southeastern side, I don't know where the rest of the teams go. They're funneled in, they're forced into pretty dire spots. Good spray and good connection, though, coming out from Spyro there, the support of the Tulans. As Veneer trying to make any option, any feasible choice that could keep them alive for a second longer, but you can see Spyro and the boys out trying to work against them.
Well, they've got to keep
Bloody
going.
hell,
Shots like
Gustav.
that, it's going to pay absolute dividends. Just hiding behind a mere hay bale. It's going to be nothing for Aitzi. He keeps going onto this phase. They're absolutely feeling it, and they've got room to do so. Good old nade. Onto Flamey and Yellow will go down. Batul and the Spyro get the job done to the side of Veneer. Comes down
4
to York.
HP.
4 HP, and really nothing he can do about this, even if the grenade just tickles him. It would spell disaster. Speaking of disaster,
BBL?
Smash, Metralius. The vehicle's gone up in a ball of flames, and Mert falls victim as well. FaZe Clan, 5 kills come through. BBL go down.
Okay, FaZe is still in this. They could still slot themselves into first. We said they were in actually quite a good position coming in from the south. The next move is the tough one.
They are out of DA's vision altogether.
I think VP can still see a little bit because of the high ground, but not much, and VP have to move themselves. So FaZe might have found somewhere, which is more than the rest can say. Let's see what VP have in store. A couple of deep smokes coming out, trying to maybe give them a little bit of cover on the move up here. There's that high ground working out for Batulins. FaZe were really hoping that was not going to come into play, that he'd move himself prior, but he's not. He's sticking around. He's hanging around as long as he can to try and do this amount of pressure. 8C was quite the instigator too. 5 kills already, and Batulins is staying on foot. Did DA even expect this? All the attention going FaZe's way. 8C will lose his life for it. There come the nades, and here comes the return fire. Vex will not let this go unanswered, and there's the nades, and it's actually on a bit of both. Batulins down, far down, and now FaZe need to put their heads down.
Good nade goes over. Will any of them? Oh, look at the damage. Look at how much damage. DA is just scared to death. Batulins gets 2 of them. Spyro goes in with a third. Gemty, last man standing. They could probably press this, to be fair, and absolutely demolish them.
If VP clean these kills, they convert it to a win. They can jump. I'm pretty sure they can jump FaZe here pretty comfortably, and they are looking like they want to. FaZe are trying to hold on to this. Oh! Diggory lets off a nuke. It finds target. It finds what it needed. And now we are down to 2. Virtus.Pro with 3 alive and 2 for Ents. Virtus.Pro refusing to relent, still bringing the A game at all occasions.
If they get this second one, the Finns are well and truly back on top.
Here come the nades, here comes the first contact. Perfectix receives more than he gives. Tixu will claim it, and now the advantage sits with Ents, but there's the trade out. Spyro unrelenting! No way! Does Spyro find Tixu there? He's just spraying in, he's got 1 molly left, and it's all on Squeaky in a 1v2 against arguably the best team in the world right now, as they have proved time and time again how diligently they can play. Squeaky
They've
has
done
to
it.
bow, and Virtus.Pro, out of absolutely nowhere, stand and deliver.
Respect my mind, no die from last child. I pray my dick get big as the Apple time, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours. Got